Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got 10 blockbuster trades these NFL teams should make to become Super Bowl contenders in 2024. Let's check this out.
There are several teams that are caught in the mushy middle, but if those teams could just acquire that one final piece between now and
please do not make that happen.
They would immediately jump into title contention.
Sources say that the Steelers have explored the possibility of pursuing Ayuk.
Why do you say his name like that, Ayuk? Yeah.
So today, here are 10 blockbuster trades that NFL teams should make in order to become prime Super Bowl contenders in 2024.
Okay.
Raiders go all in for Dak Prescott. The Los Angeles Raiders went 8-9 last season.
Okay, there is a big problem with this. Dak Prescott has a no trade clause in his contract, bro. Why you think they haven't traded him already? I feel like they would have already traded Dak already, you know what I'm saying, if he didn't have a no trade clause in his contract. So that just wipes that out the water right there. Unless they restructure his contract to where he can get traded.
So in other words, imagine how much further this team would go with a top 10 quarterback. The Raiders have a dynamic set of weapons in Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and Zamir White. If only the Silver and Black had a capable starting QB who could take advantage of all those luxury toys. Enter Dallas Cowboys QB Dak Prescott, who surprisingly is without a new deal as he heads into the final year of his contract. You can't help but wonder if Jerry Jones is maybe thinking about giving up on Prescott and restarting at the QB position. Trading Dak would put him in position to tank for a can't-miss QB prospect like Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, or Shedeur Sanders in next year's draft. The Raiders should offer a package headlined by 2 first-round picks in exchange for Prescott, then sign him to a long-term extension. They'll finally have a proven Pro Bowl signal caller to get this aerial assault going. Throw in a top 10 defense, and you would have a team that's ready to make noise in the AFC and finally emerge as a Super Bowl contender. Steelers pair Brandon Ayuk with George Pickens. The Pittsburgh Steelers open up a void at receiver
I would hate
when they
this as a
traded
Ravens fan,
Johnson
bro.
to the Carolina Panthers, leaving George Pickens without a proven sidekick. Pittsburgh has a borderline top 5 defense, a vastly improved defensive line that added prized rookie Troy Fautanu in the draft, and a much better quarterback room compared to last year. Yes, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are miles better than the Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph trio that somehow got the Steelers to 10 victories and a playoff berth last year. Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, Najee Harris, and Jalen Warren are a nice set of weapons to begin with. Now imagine if Pittsburgh could add that one more explosive game-wrecking playmaker to elevate this offense. Ayuk put up 1,342.
They do look alike, bro.
In an offense with Christian
That's
McCaffrey,
crazy.
Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle. Imagine the numbers he put up as the number 1 guy in Pittsburgh. An offense with Wilson and Ayuk would be worth at least 2 more wins than the offense that the Steelers ran out a year ago. And with that TJ Watt-led defense leading the way, Pittsburgh would return to their old status as a top contender in the AFC. Ayuk would cost at least a first-round pick, but if it means making the jump from playoff contender to Super Bowl contender, heck, so what? It's time for GM Omar Khan to swing for the fences and give the Steelers a real shot at the Super Bowl. DK Metcalf bolts to the Chargers.
DK to the Chargers? That would actually be nasty. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That would be a great replacement for Keenan Allen. You know what I'm saying? And I would give him a true number 1 wide receiver because right now they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? They got Lad McConkey, Josh Palmer, Brendan Rice, Quentin Johnston. There's no true wide receiver 1. But if they trade for DK, oh my gosh, they might actually be a contender.
A borderline top 5 quarterback like Justin Herbert only adds to the rapidly growing optimism in La La Land. But it's hard to see the Chargers contending in 2024.
But why would Seattle trade DK Metcalf?
They traded Keenan Allen to Chicago and cut Mike Williams, leaving Justin Herbert with disappointing 2023 first-rounder Quentin Johnston and rookie Lad McConkey as his top weapons. The Bolts have enough talent to get by on defense with Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Asante Samuel Jr., and Derwin James Jr. Rookie Joe Walt and veteran mainstay Rashawn Slater ensure that the O-line will keep Justin Herbert upright too. But if GM Joe Ortiz could add a 5-star receiver like DK Metcalf, oh mama, hey, screw that rebuild. The Chargers would immediately jump to Super Bowl contention in year 1 of the Harbaugh era. The Seattle Seahawks might be willing to listen to offers on Metcalf, since they have 2023 first-rounder Jackson Smith-Njigba ready to emerge as the WR1. If the Chargers offered at least an early-round pick, a first or second plus mid-round selection, the Seahawks might be willing to part with Metcalf. Pairing an all-pro wideout with one of the league's elite QBs would give the Chargers a top 5 offense, and with Harbaugh providing competent coaching, the Bolts would be ready to challenge KC and the other AFC powerhouses for the conference title in 2024. Marshawn Lattimore joins
Lattimore
Jaguars
to the
prep.
Jags.
If there's one weakness on a Jacksonville
pretty
Jaguars
good.
team loaded with young talent, especially on offense, it's the secondary. Jacksonville had the 7th worst pass defense in 2023, allowing 239.8 yards through the air per contest. And surprisingly, GM Trent Baalke didn't do much to address the secondary this offseason. Jacksonville has a high-powered offense led by Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne Jr., and Evan Ingram. The front 7, led by Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, and Eric Armstead, is among the best in football. But the Jaguars need a pure shutdown corner if they're to challenge AFC heavyweights like the Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, and New York Jets in the AFC. Enter New Orleans Saints Pro Bowler Marshawn Lattimore, one of the game's more well-rounded corners with 15 career interceptions and 86 pass breakups. Throw in his ability to constantly limit the opposition's #1 receiver, hello Mike Evans, and you have a guy who can single-handedly change the dynamic of this Jaguars secondary. With the Saints needing to clear cap space and with a rebuild on the horizon, Lattimore should be available for something in the vicinity of
Derek Carr handcuffed him
and an additional late-round selection. With Lattimore patrolling the
why would they
Jaguars
pay Derek
secondary,
Carr all that
the
money?
main
That shit
weakness
was
would
dumb
now
as
be
fuck.
cleared up. They'd have a guy who could line up against Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Tyreek Hill, George Pickens, and Stephon Diggs in the AFC. And that, folks, would push Jacksonville right back into Super Bowl contention. Bills get Josh Allen's new WR.
Now I've been hearing this a lot, bro. This is the perfect fit for Courtland Sutton. I feel like with you know what I'm saying, going to Buffalo, this will definitely, you know what I'm saying, make Buffalo a lot better. Now, will this give them an opportunity to compete in the AFC? I don't know, bro, because that defense still looks horrific right now on tape. Not on tape, but on paper. Like, you know what I'm saying? They say defenses win championships, and they lost a lot of big key pieces, bro. You know what I'm saying? They lost Tre'Davious White, they lost Micah Hyde, they lost Jordan Poyer. Who else they lost Tremaine Edmonds a couple seasons ago. And Von Miller is never really healthy. Matt Milano was injured last year, so we don't really know how this defense is gonna look for them. But this would definitely help out their offense in a way with them losing Diggs and Gabe Davis. So I feel like this is definitely a perfect
the
fit.
Buffalo Bills parted ways with several big-name veteran talents this offseason, including superstar wideout Stephon Diggs and all-pro cornerback Tre'Davious White. Buffalo's new-look receiving core consists of rookie Keon Coleman and free agent signings Curtis Samuel, Chase Claypool, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Truth be told, it's hard to imagine Buffalo retaining its status as a Super Bowl player with an unproven rookie and Samuel headlining the receiver depth chart. But if Bills GM Brandon Beane can make a splash for another big-name receiver that would make Coleman and Samuel the WR2 and WR3, well, then you'd be talking about a legitimate challenger to Kansas City in the AFC again. With the Denver Broncos in rebuilding mode, the Bills should inquire about star wide receiver Courtland Sutton. He's exceeded 700 yards receiving in his 5 healthy NFL seasons.
One of the most underrated receivers in the league
list
for
of
me.
mediocre or absolutely terrible QBs throwing him the football. Sutton honestly shouldn't cost more than a couple of day 2 picks. He's under contract for 2 more years, giving Allen an adequate #1 receiver for the time being while Coleman develops. Suddenly, the Bills would be back in business with a Sutton-Coleman-Samuel receiving trio at Allen's disposal. Joey Bosa flies to Falcons flock.
Yeah, they do need
Chargers
another
to trade
edge
for
rusher.
DK Metcalf. But if they don't want to go all in this year, why not unload star edge rusher Joey Bosa and clear up some insane cap numbers of $26.111 million and $36.471 million respectively? Bosa's hefty contract will limit his market, but the Atlanta Falcons have every incentive to trade for him in an effort to bolster their Super Bowl odds. Atlanta won the Kirk Cousins free agency sweepstakes, giving them a competent QB option to dish the ball out to their wealth of weapons in Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson. So hey, step 1.
Didn't they say they were tampering with Kirk Cousins?
Still lack an elite pass rushing.
I think it's like
force,
under
as evidenced by the fact
investigation
that
or some
They haven't
shit.
had a player hit double-digit sacks in a season since Vic Beasley in 2016.
Hey, Vic Beasley. Hey, 2016 Vic Beasley.
The secondary has 2 studs in AJ Terrell and Jesse Bates. Grady Jarrett is still a menace in the interior of the defensive line. By landing Bosa, the Falcons would shore up their last.
He was another one of those
weakness.
underrated
a player
edge
with
rushers,
67
bro.
sacks and 93 career games would change everything for the Atlanta defense. Higgins, putting them in legitimate Super Bowl contention for the first time since 2017. And because of his giant cap hit, Bosa likely wouldn't cost more than a third-round pick. So hey, what's stopping GM Terry Fontenot and head coach Raheem Morris from making the move? Packers finally unite with T. Higgins.
Oh.
The Green Bay Packers stunned everyone when they drafted
Now,
Jordan Love with the 26th.
With this, I don't know, bro, because you know what I'm saying, they got to pay Jordan Love, and then T. Higgins also has to get paid as well. And you know what I'm saying, I don't know if this would help them or hurt them in a cap space situation, bro. But this would definitely be a good fit for him.
Out, but you
give Jordan Love a true number one.
What if the Packers had used that selection on a stud wide receiver like T. Higgins?
Bro, these fucking
Higgins went 33rd to the Bengals.
My
the Packers were the NFC's top seed in 2020 and 2021, but never got to the Super Bowl. If Aaron Rodgers had Higgins as his number 2 receiver behind Davante Adams, maybe that would have been the difference. Maybe the Pack would have won a second Super Bowl with Rodgers before his departure. You can't change the past, but you sure as heck can change the future. And Green Bay could do just that by finally uniting with Higgins, who is likely to leave Cincinnati next year after the two sides failed to reach an extension. Jordan Love led the Packers to 9 wins and a divisional round appearance in 2023, even though none of their receivers hit 800 yards. Higgins, by the way, has put up elite numbers while playing second fiddle to Jamar Chase in Cincinnati. Jaden Reed and Christian Watson have shown signs of stardom, but they may be
good in a Green Bay Packers
and WR3 options. By giving Love a bona fide number 1 receiver in Higgins, this already prolific Green Bay offense would hit another level. Higgins should be available for a second-round pick and perhaps one more mid or late-round pick. Broncos flip Patrick Surtain II to the Bears. The arrival of Caleb.
This would make the Bears. I mean, the Bears are kind of contenders right now, but this would make them instant contenders, bro. To go along with that young defense, bro, that's young secondary, pairing him with Jalen Johnson too, bro. Pat Surtain, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, and Jaquan Brisker, bro, that's a nasty secondary. Yo, that would be crazy, bro.
Williams, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, and DeAndre Swift mean the Chicago Bears will have a fireworks-filled offense in 2024. And yes, they should be deemed a sleeper playoff contender. But a Super Bowl player? Maybe not unless they bolster a leaky secondary that allowed the 8th most passing yards last year despite the breakout year of superstar cornerback Jalen Johnson. With the Broncos rebuilding, you gotta think that GM George Paton would listen to offers on his all-pro cornerback. And with Chicago finally in win-now mode, they shouldn't be afraid to give up a package including a first-round pick for Surtain. Johnson
they've had 2 first-round picks in the last couple of years.
Best cornerback tandem. Now that they have Montez Sweat for a full season, the Bears defense has immense potential as is. By pairing Surtain with Johnson, the Bears will have cleared up all their weaknesses. With Caleb in the offense ready to fly, Chicago would join the tier of bona fide Super Bowl contenders. Saints win the Deebo Samuel sweepstakes. New Orleans had a top 10 scoring offense and defense last year, but missed out on the postseason for the
Chris
third
Olave.
straight year. Derek Carr's inconsistency was the main issue, but he also didn't have much help at receiver outside of Chris Olave. By adding a prolific weapon like Deebo Samuel, even if he cost an early round pick, the Saints would close the gap with Atlanta in the NFC South and return to championship contention. They already have a great defense and 2 Pro Bowl-like weapons in Olave and Alvin Kamara, but acquiring Samuel might push this Saints offense over the top and make them title contenders for the first time in the post-Drew Brees era. Cowboys go all in and grab Alvin Kamara. After the Dallas Cowboys playoff loss to the Packers, owner Jerry Jones
that's the biggest thing they need right now
in this offseason.
Running back
and
wide receiver.
Jerry has yet to really make one all-in move. But hey, it's never too late. We made the case for the Saints to go after Deebo Samuel, but if they decide to retool, then GM Mickey Loomis should be keen to trade his workhorse running back. Dealing Kamara would clear $11.682 million in cap space for 2024 and $25 million in 2025 after all. Jerry is kidding himself if he thinks that Dallas will compete for a title with Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Donnell, and Deuce Vaughn.
Zeke is way out of his prime.
So how about doing the Saints a favor and taking on the last 2 years of
get back in
Kamara's
that 2016 mode
contract? The 5-time Pro Bowler is good for 1,300 plus yards of offense a season and would take much of the burden off of Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys are renowned chokers, but adding Kamara would be the final move needed to actually get this team over the top once and for all. But which other trades should an NFL team make to become a Super Bowl contender in 2024? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. But hey, we appreciate it.
Hey man, what do you guys think? Y'all let me know what other trades y'all think should happen for teams in the NFL. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on post notifications, get notified whenever I drop another banger video. We're on the road to 300 subs. Help me get there for more banger NFL content like this. So without further ado, I'm out. Gang!